Believe it or not, I actually do like this type of animes where they are both fun and educational. And usually we always have the same two, that being the cooking and camping. And there's nothing wrong about those two type of anime, but I would like also to find other fun educational type of animes. Usually, once in a while, I do manage to find one about animals, one about household appliances, another nah, lesser known. This one is about science, Dr. Stone, which is quite popular right now, at least from my point of view, is popular. So it's always good to find a new anime about fun and education apart from the typical cooking and camping, and this one being the anime Ruri Rock. And is right in the name rock, so this anime is about rocks, or also known as minerals, where you have Ruri following along her mentor Nagi, finding out, learning about rocks, how to find them, the science, the different ways that you can identify which type of rock by doing a little bit of experimentation with liquids or by the weight. There's a whole lot of things that this anime 13 episodes throw at you, and I'm not afraid to admit that I am a complete and total moron, because the grand majority of the information that was presented on this anime about minerals went one ear and went out the other. I mean, they were talking about minerals, and yes, I understood the basic of it. How you have to, you don't simply, oh, I want to find a ruby, and I found a little small ruby, so there's must be a vein nearby. No, no, you have to do to in order to find the specific area where those minerals are specifically concentrated at. You have to do a lot, and I did not know that you have to do a lot of work, because you have to start from the base of the river, and you have to find, okay, I found the mineral that I'm looking for. Then you have to go a little bit up and going, okay, okay, still I'm finding the mineral. Then there's a fork in the road with the river, so you have to then examine both sides and see, okay, this one, it doesn't have the mineral, but this one does has the mineral that I'm looking for, so I'm going to continue going upstream. And you go like that again and again and again until you find, okay, the mineral is not appearing anymore, so that means that from somewhere around here is the vein where the mineral ruby, sapphire, whatever is mostly concentrated at. And that's one thing that I just managed to remember about the anime, and how you have to do a little bit of a lot of research in order to find the vein, or the area where the mineral you're looking for is concentrated. It is quite fascinating to me. Another thing that I did learn, and this is very by the end tail of the anime, I think it was episode 12, or was it 13? No, no. It was by the end of the anime, where we learn about, not only about rocks, but also meteors. Because apparently, well, I did know that not all meteors are just going to enter into the atmosphere and just crash on Earth and make a hole, or stuff like that. No, but it actually it bursts in the atmosphere and just dwindled down into a small grain of sand. Say, and the way that the anime was saying, oh, you can there's might be a little meteorite in a corner of your house, where it be on your backyard or your front porch, and you'll not even know about it because it just whittles down into a small grain of sand and just simply bloop, flop in the ground. It doesn't make a hole, it doesn't make a noise nor nothing. So who knows, maybe one of you viewers out there has a meteorite in your house, at least in your property, and not even know about it. And the way that they have to take the minerals, put it under a microscope, and to find the exact mineral that you need. The whole science about this anime is quite fascinating. We learn a lot, and I mean a lot about minerals, about the how the mountains, the magnet place of the earth, how they crash with one another, causing mountains, how when the rivers or a storm causes the water to flush down, exposing minerals to newly minerals to be found. Well, not newly, I mean already known minerals, but areas where you could not find them before. So there's a lot, and a lot about the anime, about minerals, about rocks, about different time periods and how some of them were used at certain times. So it is quite a very good educational anime. But like I said, it's not only educational; it's also fun to watch. The one of the thing about this is the animation. This animation makes this type of anime so much better. Sorry about that. Not only with the minerals, because yes, during the anime, the minerals that were shown were animated very beautifully, making almost making every one of them so visually appealing. But not only with the minerals, but also with the characters that appear throughout this anime. If I notice that even though that they are very simplistic in design when it comes to the faces, the hair, the eyes, the facial structure is quite simplistic. But because the facial structure of the characters is more simplistic compared to other anime, they actually went more into detail when it comes to the clothing. When it comes to the clothing that the characters wear, I noticed that there were quite a good amount of detail when drawing the outlines, the different wrinkles, the different even the different stitches of the clothes that you can closely watch. So yes, even though that, and not to say that the facial structure, the character design wasn't bad, but there is in some ways it's good that this type of animation, because it does present itself with the opportunity to be quite flexible. You don't have to stick with that specific animation the entirety of the season. You can have a little fun with it. There was a couple of moments here and there where they take the main character Ruri and just simply tone down the 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 details in her character model, and it's quite funny. Present herself to make a couple of wacky expressions here and there. So the animation, not only with the rocks, the minerals that appear throughout the anime, but also the characters there, all of them were quite interesting to watch. With even if you think that, like me, that the facial is a little bit simplistic with the animation, but the clothing, they say, hey, we have a little more time to kill, so let's put a little bit more detail in this other part of the animation, and it was quite fantastic, interesting, and entertaining to watch. But also, one thing that I also want to talk about is obviously the characters and their personality. Now, Ruri, a little bit of the story of the anime is quite simplistic. Ruri likes pretty things, and she just wanted to buy I forgot the name of the mineral, but she wanted to buy a mineral that it was in the form of a necklace. She wanted an advance in her allowance. Her mother said no. Oh, I have seen that mineral before. Your grandfather used to go to the mountains and pick a couple of them up during his hikes, and the and Rudy just wanted to immediately go, oh, I'm going to go to the same mountain. I remember the route that he used to take, and trying to find her minerals. Hey, at least it's free. And I think that the mountain, no, I think there was a bear sign in the mountain, which is dangerous, by the way. I know that it was quite a risk doing it alone, but I understand that she likes beautiful things. She wanted that mineral because she found it quite appealing. And she then, on her journey to try to find that mineral, she bumped into Nagi, who became her mentor. Then the anime went ongoing, her being the one that teaches us through not Ruri, the viewers, about minerals. And the story just went out there, we us learning about minerals and stuff. But there was actually one thing that I was very surprised about, because watching Ruri and the very, let's say, immature, very bratty personality that she has in the first couple of episodes, it wasn't to an annoying level. It's just that she was a little bit too hyper. She just was running head first, jumping without looking first, stuff like that. She just was very careless, and the way that she was presented in the first couple of episodes, I actually thought that she was in middle school. But in later episodes, she is actually in high school. Not only in high school, in her final years of high school. And I, I know that this is anime. They make some characters look more younger than they really are, but she looks like a middle schooler. She doesn't look like at least not the adults in the anime look like adults, but the difference between middle schoolers and high schoolers it's just not there. They look like middle schoolers. They don't look like high schoolers. That's all I'm trying to say. That I'm harping on this a little bit too much. So I'm just going to end it here and give this anime a score of an 8 out of 10. Beautiful animation, both with the minerals and the characters. The story was simplistic, but still a good setup in order for us, the viewers, learn about minerals. And I would actually like to see another season of this. Even if, like I said before, even if the great majority of the information goes, whew, goes one ear and out the other, I still like to at least learn about one or two things out in every type of fun educational type of animes. So I would love another season of this. And if you are somebody that likes to learn about new stuff, even if you're never going to use it, I highly recommend this anime. And be safe out there if you try to go hunting for minerals. That's dangerous and very time consuming. So have a good day, have a good night, wherever you're from. See you next video.